All right, for Module 4, Assignment 2, we are going to learn a project management technique or tool called the Gantt Chart. And the Gantt Chart is just a visual representation of a project timeline. So imagine all the things you have to do, like when you're doing a report. You have to do the prep work, you have to do the research, you have to go to the library, get the books, or go online and get the articles. You have to read them, you have to make citations. All of those tasks are part of the project, and then you map it out on a timeline. To give you an idea of how to do this, I'm going to ask all of you to go to Google Drive. So if you need to, go ahead and pause this movie and or video and go to Google Drive and open up a Google Sheet and then give it the name My Morning Routine. All right. And then, as like I said, you can pause the video as I go and give the very first cell a task heading. And then let's give ourselves 15-minute increments. So we're going to go with 0, which is the minute we wake up. And then we're going to go every 15 minutes. All right. So if you do the first few like this, all right, we have 0, 15, 30, 45. If we do the first few, what we've done is we've created a pattern every 15 minutes, and the computer can recognize that pattern. So if I highlight all of these cells, and then I come down here to this little drag box, and I get the crosshairs, if I drag the cells across, Google will duplicate that pattern for me. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to click up here in this empty header right here, right next to the A. I'm going to click on that. And it automatically selects every cell, and then I'm going to go to like a space between the two cells and get that arrow. And I'm going to drag it down to when I form about a square inside the cell. All right, something like that. And that gives me a lot of room to work with here. And then I'm going to automatically resize column A. So I'm going to click on column A, get that arrow again by going right to the edge of column A. And when I have that arrow, I'm going to double click, and then it'll automatically, actually, let's make it bigger. So let's drag it out. All right. All right, so we have our time frame here. And if you don't think that's enough time, 225 minutes to get ready, go ahead and give yourself a few more. And then here I want you to make a list of activities that you do in the morning. And so I've already created a list here, so I'm going to copy and paste this here. And okay, so let's say you wake up, you shower, you get dressed, you eat your breakfast, talk with your family, pack my backpack, lock the doors, and then that's it. I'm out of the house. So we're going to map out or do a Gantt chart of our morning routine. So minute number 1 or minute 0, I wake up. So go ahead and come up to this little paint bucket here and give it a color. Doesn't matter which color. I would, at the very least, use 2 different colors throughout this so you alternate so it's easy to see where you're at. So I wake up. And the next thing I do is I get in the shower. So I'm going to say it takes me about 15 minutes in the shower. All right. I'm out of the shower and I'm going to get dressed. All right. And maybe, yeah, another 15 minutes. All right. I'll just say half hour, but it doesn't take me a half hour to get dressed. But maybe I'm really busy and I'm in a hurry. And so my wife, she makes me a breakfast burrito. So I'm going to eat that breakfast burrito while I'm getting dressed. So while I'm getting dressed here, I'm going to actually overlap on my breakfast time. And I'm going to create a square that looks like that. So because these two are overlapping, what that means is I'm getting dressed and I've started eating my breakfast. Maybe I take a bite of the breakfast burrito. I keep on getting dressed. All right. And then I'm done getting dressed. I have my breakfast still in hand. I haven't finished this. So I go downstairs and I start talking with my family while I'm eating breakfast. So we're going to overlap these again. So I'm eating my breakfast and I'm going to go ahead and talk with my family. So those are overlapping. Or maybe, yeah. And then maybe while I'm talking with my family, we're all finishing breakfast, I'm talking with my family. Maybe while I'm talking, I start to pack my backpack for the day. And then maybe while I'm finishing packing, I lock the doors. So we'll overlap those. I finish packing, I lock my doors. And that's what my morning routine looks like. So I have all the tasks laid out. I have my time. And then I kind of graph or map what that'll look like. And so when we're doing a large project, like, our morning routine, that's on automatic. But when you're doing a multi-million-dollar project, you have a lot of pieces that connect or interconnect. For example, when I wake up, I can't start showering right away. So I know that time is blocked out. And let's say if you're doing a big multi-million-dollar website, you know that you have to get the design done before you can start to program. And so you map these things out so you can kind of see how long is it going to take us to complete this project. And if something goes too long, maybe it takes us a long time to wake up, we keep on hitting snooze and snooze. That means all this stuff then has to be moved. All right? If it takes us this long to wake up, then we have to move that routine. And so we can see that pushes a project back or forward. So with that in mind, what Module 2 or Module 4 Assignment 2 asks you to do is to map out or do the same thing for a construction project. All right. So go ahead and open up Module 2, and you're going to take, or I'll even provide this template for you. I'll give you this template, and you can use this. So you got everything from design to building, demolition, purchase materials, and then final inspection. Right. And so what you're going to do, and it doesn't matter the time frame. What I'm looking for is not, do you get the time frame correct? Just take a guess. I think that's going to take 2 weeks. Perfect. Mark it for 2 weeks. All right. What I want to see is that you kind of understand or have a logical process as you're mapping this out. So the contractors really can't do anything until the design's done. So it takes us 2 weeks for design. Great. Let's say we're going to do another 2 weeks for contract bids. All right. We have the bids. Now we have the design approval and permits. So let's come here and we got the design approval and permits. Maybe that takes us another 2 weeks. Demolition. So we can't start any demolition until the permits are done. And let's say the demolition is going to take 1 week just to knock out all the walls. All right. While demolition's going, and even while we're waiting for permits, we can start buying stuff. So let's say we come back here. Maybe we start buying stuff way back here, and we map that out. So we bought stuff, and we're buying stuff, and we can keep on buying stuff. And even when plumbing starts, let's say we're going to start the plumbing here right after demolition, we can keep on buying supplies. We can keep on buying things for that. So plumbing's done, and maybe plumbing takes 2 weeks. And then when the plumbers spend 1 week in the front room, then 1 week in the back room. So when they go to the back room, we can bring in the electricians. And so that'll overlap a little bit because they're working on different parts of the building. Anyway, this is what you're going to do. You're going to map out each one of these tasks on a timeline that you think is reasonable. And again, whether you say 1 week and your friend says 3 weeks, it doesn't matter. What I want to see is this kind of progression, this task dependency. I can do this while I do other things. I can't do anything till this. And just kind of get a sense of what it would take or what it's like to lay out a major project. Right? And so that's a Gantt chart. So I'm going to provide this template, or you can use the software tool that they provide in the lesson. But it's simpler if you just do it this way and quicker so you can get it done.